I said, God, why did I go through all that? With everybody hating me. And he said in a prayer, he said, I wanted you to see what it's like. You've always lived a very, privileged existence, lived in nice houses, and you always made it through, no matter what. I was there. I helped you. But I wanted you to see what it's like when people treat you like you're subhuman. Either because you're a woman, or the new kid on the block, or an upstart, or an envied person, or somebody who's different so they just hate you, or somebody who wants to be separate and have solitude and they hate you for that. I wanted you to experience what it feels like. And I have a lot of resentments from the past. I forgive them, yes, but then it pops up again. The next morning I wake up with it. It's hard letting go of things, even if they're dead. And I watched documentaries of World War II, what it was like in Europe in the 40s. My God, people were losing their homes and dragged off to camps and they were gassed and millions died. That's hatred. That's human hatred. That's the earth. That's reality. Not everybody's good. And I was a very trusting person. I didn't know a lot about human nature. Despite having a Ph.D. in psychology, that didn't teach me anything about human nature. No, I had to learn that in the streets. Ph.D. in the streets. What people were really like, if they look down on you, if they're jealous of you, if they don't understand you, they just hate you. That's human nature. Look at history. Don't be naive to think everybody's good. That's ridiculous. Look at human history. Learn something from it. Then you build boundaries. Then you become shrewd. Then you don't have your money taken from you. Then you're no longer scammed. I was scammed left and right because I trusted people. And now I see the silver lining. I had to go through all that. Seeing the dark side of people. Being hated by people. I had to, in family, in neighborhood, in school, in previous relationships, when they turned sour, I had to see that, to see the full scope of human nature. And I thank God for it. And today, it's not happening. I'm behind a locked gate. I've relocated. They can't find me. I have new people in my life who respect me and honor me. But boy, those old days, when I had to learn things the hard way, man, oh man. It all started with childhood. Mom was a rageaholic, alcoholic, a raging brawler. Like twice a week, she'd fall into her bag. And my father and I would lock ourselves in our room. She was, sometimes the police would come. And after that, I thought that I was okay with that, but I recreated the same systems after that. Bad marriage, bad relationships. I was taken by people. I was looked down on. I recreated the same grasshopper status in a small desert town I moved to, because that's how it is. Whatever you first adapt to, that systems theory, you recreate it in later systems. It's not happening now. But I can see, all through my history, I can see this. I'm like a dying person that sees their whole history before their eyes. I recreated the same thing over and over and over again. And any addictions I had to cope with the stress of all this and the trauma. Of course, if you're addicted to something, that brings in lower companions, and you end up in the gutter. People mistreat somebody who's addicted, and we've already discussed why, energetically. So, the same system recreated over and over and over again from the original alcoholic home. It's hard to break old patterns. I finally did. But that's systems theory. That's social psychology. The dark side of being a female. Being forced to comply to somebody else's wishes just because they think they're superior, because they're male, or female in control, or feeling superior over. It's all a hierarchy in human nature. Who's superior to who? And that was bad. Men expecting me to comply. I didn't like that. I fought that, and they fought me back. It was hard being a female. But then, right now, it's really hard being a male because of feminism. Women are taught not to honor men. And it's really bad. For example, in a relationship, a girl will say, "Am I fat? Do I look fat?" And he's afraid of her anger. So he'll say, "No, you don't look fat at all." So he's lying, and now she doesn't respect him because she knows she looks fat, and she doesn't respect him for his dishonesty. Now, if he says, "Yeah, you look fat," now she'll hate him because he doesn't support her. And she'll go tell all her friends, "He doesn't support me." So either way, the male is wrong. So now it's like the tables have turned. What has happened to the alpha males? They're beta males now. And women come and go. Women have so many options on the internet that a male gets used to being rejected and dishonored because he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. So the man of today, the modern male, should also learn how to be alone, to back away from these dishonoring relationships with women when they're not respected anymore. Damned if they do, damned if they don't. And get fit, go to the gym, learn to order your own environment, get into your own writing or your own destiny, your own goals, and just back off from, don't need women so much because they're not there for you now anyway. They're all feminists, liberals. Statistics show most women are liberals. It's the feminist influence. Most men are more conservative. There's bound to be a clash in modern relationships. Man who backs off from needing women, the woman who backs off from all the stuff she's been through, learns that peace is more than the absence of chaos. Peace is the presence of control. Now you control every minute. Now you don't have to deal with interruptions. Now you don't have to deal with the chaos of other people's moods because they're trending with what culture thinks about this or that, about how women should be or how men should be. Now you can rule every minute. Control. That's power. The chaos I felt with people coming by, my gosh. Because I wasn't part of that generation. I had always been separate. I couldn't believe their expectations and the inability to understand somebody who just wants to be alone, who has goals and just wants to pursue those. I found God about 30 years ago, and I grew as a Christian, started to grow up. And I escaped a man who practically kidnapped me to live on his ranch. I escaped him by God's assistance. I can see it was a total miracle. I got away from him, and then I continued to grow. And then I met my present husband, who's a Christian, a devout Christian, and married him, and now life has progressed ever since then. But as I look back, it's so dark. It's like a dark dungeon. I can't even hardly relate to it. It scares me what I had to go through. In the dark, living with demons, and then being rescued to the light, and everything is light and happy now. I don't want to ruin that by thinking of the past. That's what we do. We wreck the present by bringing up the past constantly. But that's the dark and light of the hero's journey. There's a canyon. You got to go through it to choose the light. I had to learn what I did not want and what I did want by going through all that. How else would I know? Now I can discern people. I had no discernment in those days. Evil flows right in. And I can see the whole thing now. And God says He will now protect us. Don't fear evil. I will always be with you. I will fight your battles. And He does. And what a contrast. What an incredible difference between dark and light. Life has two sides. And I just hope you don't have to go through it to learn it. Just listen to what I say. There's a hell and there's a heaven. And on earth as well. A total hell. Avoid it. Avoid certain people. If they show the signs, don't let them in. And avoid addictions. They'll take you down to hell. They'll take you down to the gutter. That's just the addictive process. And choose the right. Make gold. Make gold on people. Very important, the people you have around you. And addictions, devices that we use as maladaptive coping strategies because we're traumatized. Instead, go to God and watch what you eat. Very important. Food can cause depression. I was getting too much orange juice, I guess, sugar. Went into sadness for a couple days. I don't know if it was the sugar, but whatever it is, our food can change our mood too. And then what do? Fall into our bag, a coping device, or around the wrong people. Fall into our bag, an addictive device to deal with them, to make them tolerable. The three obstructions go together. But dissolve the obstruction, and you will snap to your goals because it's waiting in the wings. It's waiting for you to get rid of the obstruction. Yes, peace is more than the absence of chaos. It is the presence of control. You controlling every minute of your life. That's not happening in a bad relationship. Somebody else is controlling every minute, every thought. That's not happening. If you're addicted in an addictive cycle, you're being controlled by your urges and your desires, and they're way out of whack because we need the addiction more and enjoy it less. That's the addictive process. You're not in control. If you're a food addict or an alcohol addict, you're only thinking of your next fix. That's not being in control. That's not peace. Peace is you being in control and God through you. That's what we want. This is what I wrote in my journal. You can't shame a man who's made peace with solitude. You can't manipulate somebody who no longer needs validation. Transcend human society, then now you are a leader of human society. You no longer need their validation. They can't control you. No. And you make peace in solitude, start to build your body, lose fat, bring order to every drawer, and you order your routine. You don't care if somebody dishonors you. You honor yourself. You build your own self-esteem. Now you're in control. That is true peace. Now you be a leader of men. As long as you need their validation, you can't lead them. A woman can't control a man who's no longer afraid of walking away. Men get addicted to women. Women can't be controlled anymore. Women have too many options online. And they dishonor men now because of feminism. If a man can walk away from that, now he's in control. That's a problem. You can't control somebody who is no longer afraid of walking away. Don't fear loneliness. When you find yourself in solitude, you'll never be lonely again. There's no greater high in the realization, man, I can do this myself. I can go to the gym and build a body and be proud of it. And I can make my own plans. I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. I can order my own home. I don't need her. I can decide what I eat, whatever. That builds self-esteem. Now, there's no more ups and downs because somebody is putting you down. There's no more begging, being on the begging end, begging to get her attention, begging to get her love back because she doesn't respect you because you weren't true to yourself. Women love men who are true to themselves, really, who are leaders, who aren't mealy-mouthed, just, oh, please love me, please don't love me, please don't leave me. A woman does not respect a man like that. Women respect alpha males who are above all that, but they will test a guy to see where his boundary is. If he's not an alpha male, they will push it, test it, because they're trying to find that line and finally lose respect for him and leave him altogether. No, he's got to be a man. He's got to be a real man. He's not going to put up with that, and he will walk away. Now she loves him. Men are getting tired of hearing how masculinity is toxic. No, masculinity is not toxic. That's being a man. Being abusive is toxic, but a man wanting order and decency in a female, that is not toxic. He wants her to take care of the house and to be a good housekeeper and not to have dishes build up in the sink, or takes clothes out of the washer and not put them away. The house a mess. He doesn't respect that. But if he demands order, she runs to her girlfriends, oh, he's not supportive, he's abusing me. No, wanting order is not toxic. Masculinity is not toxic. I want a man to protect me. Men are bigger than women. I can't defend myself. I respect masculinity. I don't respect abusiveness. But men used to respect their wives because they did honor them. They didn't push them to the line and test and pick fights and put them down and look around to other men. No, everything has changed. You can't tinker with the sex roles and not expect this type of conflict. But men are leaving. They're finding solitude. They're going to the gym. They're building themselves up another way, not needing the approval of women anymore, and I salute them. See, both sexes are pulling back, finding themselves, and solitude is the answer for both of them. Then you can reconnect with somebody who honors you. So I wrote in my journal, men are building new lives. Simpler, quieter, and smaller, not with all that noise of females putting them down. What the world calls lonely is this their liberation. It's not lonely, it's liberation from cultural trends that are so dysfunctional. The movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, that was 1966. Feminism came out about 1960, 61, when women started to stand up for all that. And she was a total bitch. Martha, in the movie, played by Elizabeth Taylor, did a brilliant actor's role. And testing, putting men down, putting them down. They never did that in the 50s. They respected their husband. Then it all changed. And then now, decades later, men are beta males. Their fathers were controlled. Their grandfathers were controlled. They lost their masculinity, which is assertion, boundaries, demanding decency, wanting order. The woman has her role to keep order. Perfect order. Because man adapts to his environment, and if it's orderly, he'll support, make money, do good work. And the man has his role. But see, men have become beta males. And the result is, they can't find a woman who will stay. The new men are not lonely in solitude. They're lonely in relationships where they were made invisible. Women would get together and they're talk against him, putting him down. The sitcoms make men look dumb and just dysfunctional without the women. The women are the dominatrix. They're in control. Who needs that? No. Men have found they can be alone. And that's the way to go for now. Reestablish yourself as a man and find a woman who can honor you. None of the feminist crap. Men who are going their own way have found that it's far nicer to eat dinner in peace than sitting next to somebody who resents them. Resents them because they bought the cultural crap. Women are liberals, feminists, looking down on men, not honoring them. Isn't it nice to be alone for a while and to build your body up and to become a real man, an honorable man, and then to find a woman who honors you? Men have found, isn't it more wonderful to sleep alone in a bed rather than next to a woman who's scrolling through all her options and looking down on you? That's what men are finding. Yeah, the tables are turning. Women have got to get off this feminist thing and honor men, because I don't know who else is going to protect you. You'll find that out later. I respect men because they're bigger than I am, and I need them to protect me.